What's going on, home team? What's going on, home team? It's your boy, the author. Right back at that ass again. Here's another one. What's going on, man? Just thought I'd make this video real quick, man. Got off of work, man. Late night shift. Went ahead and put that Guinness in the freezer, man. Let it sit in the freezer for a little bit. Ice cold, Jack. Ice cold, man. My first sip of it. Yeah, man. But I know y'all getting ready for the holidays, man. I've been busy myself, but just want to make this video, man. I wanted to make this one, excuse me, yesterday, but really didn't have time to do that. I had to pretty much, take care of things around the house and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I'm glad I didn't do it yesterday, man, because I bumped into this video, and it kind of suited the topic that I wanted to talk about today. In this video, this brother made this video about these females, I guess these quote-unquote black feminists or womanism. I think womanism is the black feminists. That's what black females call themselves, instead of feminist, womanist, or womanism, or whatever the fuck. But lady was talking about, she was on her show talking all type of craziness, talking about, if she hears black men on YouTube complaining about black women, but why aren't they talking about white supremacy? Why aren't black men talking about white supremacy? Why are they just talking about how bad black women are? And she also touched on the point of if black men, want something, if they want empowerment, why don't they get up and take leadership and take control and go out here and pretty much take control and become a leader and lead the community, instead of sitting here complaining. Basically is what her point is. And then she also touched on talked about something about patriarchy. She said the world is ran through, or the community is run through, a patriarchy, and she doesn't agree with. She says patriarchy doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? So she wants equality. She wants everything to be equal. She wants it to be an equal partnership between men and women. She's not trying to hear nothing about patriarchy. And it just it boggles my mind, man, to hear when these females speak about things like this. I mean, first and foremost, talking about why black men are on the internet talking about black females instead of white supremacy, when the black woman is the right hand of white supremacy, in my opinion. She's pretty much raising all these kids who, and she's doing a poor job raising the kids. In most cases, she doesn't even care about the kids, and these kids are growing up and they're packed in the prison systems and the graveyards, and a lot of the rich, powerful white men have stock in prisons, and they own prisons, and it's also helping keeping the black community down. So, it's not like, to me, where you can go straight forward and get to white supremacy. You have to get past, a lot of these kids are going to have to get past their black mothers first before they even can get straight to white supremacy. I repeat, you're going to have to get past your mother first before you can even get anywhere close to white man, because white supremacy has levels. And they're letting a lot of these black females hurt their kids and kill their kids, and then they give them light sentences I asked why when they wouldn't do the same thing for men. Well, I think they want to give these women light sentences because they are doing the devil's work, man. They're keeping the men out of the homes, and they give them social service money for that. And then the men and the young boys that they're raising are packing up the prison. So if you entertain the idea and say, hey, it is a white supremacy, black women are helping it, man. But in addition to, she mentioned the point about black men need to stop complaining and take charge of their community or communities. Sorry, I'm trying to get my words straight. So, but here's the thing: how are you going to ask the black man to take charge of his community when most of these households are headed by women? You know what I'm saying? I mean, most of the households are headed by women. So the feminist complaints about why aren't black men building anything, things of that nature. Well, the black woman has been in charge of the black community since the late 70s. So she's become the quote unquote man. So don't expect the man to start building if he can't even stay in his house. You didn't have a lot of black females and had the black man kicked out of the house. A lot of times too, if there's a fight, she'll call the cops. The cops will remove the man from the house. She can't get social services if there's a man in the house. So the black woman makes sure that she doesn't have a man in the house so she can get government stipends from this white supremacy that she's talking about, the white supremacy she was referring to, that they think that the men should address. You're paid, the black female is paid off to keep things the way they are in terms of to keep single parent households, pretty much. And, and another thing too, I mean, it also boggles my mind because they'll sit there and say, okay, if the black man really wants things to change, why doesn't he just get up and take charge of his community? But in the same breath, she'll sit there and say she doesn't believe in a patriarchy. And me and this brother was talking about this on his video, and I was saying that too. I was like, well, that's what the brother was talking about. How are you gonna say you want black men to build and take charge and become a leader in his community, but you don't believe in a patriarchy? So in other words, you're telling a black man that he should go ahead and be a leader like he was meant to be, but you're not going to follow his male leadership, because if the black man does get in his community, if he rebuilds his community, if he takes charge, and if he becomes preeminent in the world where he's the top of the stacks, then his woman is going to have to follow. She's saying that even so you saying you don't believe in patriarchal society. So even if the black man does build and he does, and he, becomes preeminent, you're not going to follow him anyway because you don't believe in a patriarchal system. So, what's the point of him building and becoming the leader of his community, and you're going to still fight for the white man anyway? And I said this a long time ago when brothers were talking about, well, black women won't follow black men because black men don't have anything to offer black women. They don't have to depend on black men for their socioeconomic survival. If black men were to take over the economy today, black women would not follow. They would fight to keep other races of men in charge. I repeat. If black men were to take over today, most black women would not follow. They would fight to keep the white men in charge. Why? Because they have a bad case of Stockholm syndrome, where they praise their oppressor. So, and pretty much, and I might entitle this video, the black female or black women have become the new slave master, and the inner city has become the new plantation. Because back in the day, the terrorism came in the 50s and the 40s and the 30s, white people let you know exactly how they felt about you. They'll call you nigger to your face, and that's one of the reasons why some of our grandparents migrated from the south to the north. But now they don't have to do that. The terrorism in in the black community is coming from the black females. Now the white folks can sit there with their hands up like this, like, hey, we're not doing anything. This is coming from your people. And the black female is by the poor parenting of the black female, she's creating these gangsters and these monsters, these guys who joined the gangs who ended up, preying on other black men and women who work for a living and who strive hard to own property and things of that nature. So, pretty much that's the state that we're in. So, yeah, it's always going to be racists competing with each other and a supremacy from a group, but it's kind of a shame when you still have the inner turmoil going on in your own group. Like, how can you move forward and compete with other groups for supremacy when you can't even control your own home? So of course you can't control your own community. But yeah, and the female also said in the video, well, everybody keeps telling black women that they're choosing the wrong men. They're choosing the wrong men. Well, every woman can't be choosing the wrong man. Because if you ask me, and there's the only choice is the wrong men. The wrong men are as you telling me, all these women have the wrong men. If you ask me, the only choice is the wrong men. And excuse this commercial break. That shit good. Anyway, yeah. So she's talking shit about, if you ask me, the only choice is the wrong men. You telling me all these sisters out here pick the wrong men. And here's the thing too, she's acting like all these sisters, all these black females are dating all the men in the race equally. Man, 95% of these black females are all fucking the same 5%. And most of that 5% is thugs. 90% of the women are fucking 5% of the dudes. Y'all all fighting over the same dudes. And these dudes have so many choices. Of course they dog y'all out. Y'all are not choosing the majority of dudes. That's why you'll have so many black females talking about it's so hard to find a good man. Yeah, if y'all all fighting over the same 5% who ain't shit, who are mostly thugs. But you never, now an Asian woman who dates black men, you never hear her saying that she has a hard time finding a good black man. A white female or Caucasian female or Irish female who dates black men, you don't hear her saying she has a hard time finding a black man. An Italian woman who dates black men, you don't hear her saying she has a hard time finding a good black man. Arab women who date black men, you don't hear her saying you don't hear any of them saying they have a hard time finding a good black man. Puerto Rican women who date black men, I never hear them saying, Dominican women, I never hear them saying they have a hard time finding a good black man, because they're dating the rest of the rest of us, the regular, brothers who go to work. I met white females who, the brother has a job, he works at the, fire department or whatever his occupation is, garbage man, whatever. He works 9 to 5. And they've been married for quite some time. They're picking from the pool of just regular black men who work. Of course, a lot of these black chicks are fighting over the same 95% of them are fighting over the same 5% of the dudes who dog them all out. Dudes who go in and out of the can and shit like that, So, of course, you have a hard time finding good black men because you keep going to the same 4-5% that ain't shit. The other races who date black men, you don't never hear them complaining about not being able to find a good black man. Because they picking from the general pool, the regular black man. So you got to be crazy and psycho to get with some of these black females. They want the craziest dude out there, the gangster, the nutty, the nutcase, or the dude who already fucking most of them. Like the shit that happened, I think it was in Tennessee, where you had 3 dudes get like 85 females pregnant. I mean, that was a true story. I mean, that's how they get down. So that's why that's why they complaining. And soon you're gonna have black dudes who just ain't gonna want to get with them because brothers are getting tired of the weed, they tired of the mouth, they tired of the unsanitary, the smelling of the cooch, and that their fake hair breaks your skin out. Brothers are tired of all that, man. And the good black women are slim pickings. These days they talk about us, but really it's them who slim pickings. Because how many black females you can see out here who don't have a weave? Even if some of the biracial ones got waves, or who don't have a wig, or who don't have to, straighten their hair or something like that, or who don't have a red color in their hair, some goofy shit, and most of the black women fall in that category. Either have a wig, a weave, but always straighten their hair or put some crazy color in that shit. All types of crazy shit. So at the same time, man. But yeah, I was thinking about that, man. I want to use that point to jump off this video. I believe that the black community is the new plantation, man. And whites don't even have to be on it anymore. They put the black woman on it. She on the horse now, whipping the backs of these kids, killing these kids, fighting over weave, and that's why she's getting a pass to, show out in stores and stuff like that, man. Because she's literally, she's helping keep the community down, man. She doesn't want black male leadership, because if she hasn't had in the past 40 years, and if she does get a strong black man, a strong black man is going to straighten the household out. And then, oh yeah, she said this too. She said, black men who are talking about a patriarchal system, black men who believe in patriarchy, they are actually trying to be like white men, because patriarchy is a white man concept. That's what she said. I swear to God. I wish I remembered this female's name, but she was in this video, man. But it's some, and it's not really important. I mean, it's some black female feminist group. But yeah, a lot of them talk like this. But yeah, she said that patriarchy is a white man's concept, and it doesn't work. And here's the thing, that the stupidity behind that, I don't know what made her say patriarchy or male leadership is a white male concept. Because if you look at the Chinese, their society is ran by patriarchy. What's that dude's name in Korea they're going after? Jim Kong Il, whatever. He's the father of Korea. That's a male-led society. Japan, all the countries in Africa. Well, Africa has some male leadership too. But I mean, even if you leave the blacks out of it, the Chinese, the Japanese. If you go to India, or if you see when the Indian people come over here, the males in the group pretty much keep the flock together. Where, I mean, even, with the Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, all of these are male. All these communities, these races have men leading, man. So, I mean, patriarchy is not a white man's concept. Every society is doing this except for ours. and the black community is on the bottom of the socioeconomic ladder, and we're the only community that's fully led by a matriarchy. So you tell me what the problem is. The only she's saying the patriarchy doesn't work, but and especially even if you look at the U.S., the African Americans, quote unquote, or Hebrew Israelites, whatever you want to call yourself, we're on the bottom of the totem pole, and we're the only matriarchal system where women control about 75% of the community's wealth. Every other group is ran by a patriarchy, and every other group is above, quote unquote, African American. So you tell me if patriarchy works. And in that matter of fact, white women are dependent on the white male patriarchy. That's where she receives all her jobs, and she's terrified to lose her job. And if her husband loses his job, she'll kick him out in the street. So she's dependent on another racist patriarchy, but she's going to complain and says patriarchy doesn't work. And it's like, well, you wouldn't even be leading the black community if it wasn't for a white male patriarchy. So I mean, it's just pathetic, man. But in my eyes, the black female is the new slave master, man. I mean, she's just keeping the confusion going. She's always getting a pass for bad behavior, whether the black woman is poor, middle class, or rich. She always is given an excuse, especially when it comes to hurting her kids, or putting the black man out in the street. Especially when it comes to a black man and a black female, society's going to ultimately take the woman's side. Not just because the black man is powerless, but because they want it that way for obvious reasons. But it's just a sad thing, man, and it's going to get to the point where brothers are just going to have to either choose the few black women who are left, who are really trying to really do something in terms of starting a family, allowing or coming together with the patriarchy, or brothers are just going to have to just go to the other side and just pick from another group and do their thing that way. It might get to the point where in order for a brother to survive, he's going to have to go to another race, because the black female hates herself so much. Every time when she looks at the black man, she's reminded of herself. And, and I guess she's jealous too that we don't have to wear weaves and things of that nature. We don't have to go through what they go through. They don't have to go through it either, but they just have lower self-esteem on average. And it's just and they love competing with us when it comes to receiving jobs from the white male patriarchy. But it's just going to get to the point where in order for brothers to survive, we're going to have to just step away from the curve and just go elsewhere, man, and just have a peace of mind and just not even worry about it, because, I mean, it gets to the point where, enough is enough, man. Even if I were to step up and do what you say, you're still not going to follow because you don't believe that men should lead. You believe that you should lead, but evidence is proven. I mean, black females have led for 40, or have been in charge. They've been in control of the black community's finances for the past 40 years, and they haven't led anything. They haven't led any black power movements. You won't even set up weed businesses in the black community, and you buy those all the time. I mean, and the black man. The reason why so many black men talk against the black woman is because he was betrayed. In any zoo, if the male tiger is attacked, the female tiger would step up. But when the male tiger was attacked in the 60s, the black female tiger joined up with the white male power structure. So that was betrayal. So, but I didn't want to make this video too long, man. But just let me know what you think, man. And thank you so much for your comments, man. You guys are coming out making comments. I appreciate that. If you have any topic that you want me to speak about, just let me know. Be sure to like, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, man. Where are you on this situation when it comes to dating within your race and interracial dating. Um, Possibly dating outside of your race to ensure your survival. Because a lot of these brothers, I'm hearing about brothers in the news, man, being killed because they were trying to pick up their kid, and they had to, in order to pick up their kid who's only 1 year old, they had to go see their baby mama, and she wanted to start something between the two anyway. So, one thing led to another. You fighting this dude who's already laid up with her, and she's laid up with some other dude, and the kid's only 1 year old, and then the brother ends up getting shot and killed just because he wanted to pick up his kid. Just ridiculous shit that females are just starting, man. And like I said, no females are perfect, no males are perfect, but at the same time, with the female situation, the ones with the darker skin tend to have the lower self-esteem. And, if you're a brother with at least average self-esteem, you might not be able to date within your race, even if you want to, because low self-esteem can be very detrimental, man, to your survival. It's one of the reasons why they spend so much on things they don't need, like hair and jewelry, and it's never enough. It's like a pocket with a hole in it. You can't buy your way to self-esteem. They need change in here, not out here. It's from the inside out, not the outside in, So, but you can't get them to see that. You can't get the average black female to even listen to anything that a black male has to say. So it has gotten that bad, and it's gonna get worse. But yeah, be sure to like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. And until next time, man, y'all be safe out there, all right? All right, it's your boy.